Hello, this is Sarah with the Alertus training team, and in this video, I'm going to show you how to create a new desktop profile. And I will also show you how to save that new desktop profile as an alert service so that you can quickly pull it into an activation. But to create a new desktop profile, you will need to have access to the configure system settings. So you can come down here and select the desktop tab. So we'll scroll down here to desktop profiles, and desktop profiles are stored collections of display and audio settings used to format alerts sent to Alertus desktop clients. Desktop profiles provide a convenient way to manage and utilize these settings. So basically, we can pre-configure what we want our desktop to look like when it is activated. So if you want to view the desktop profiles you already have saved here, you can also edit them. If you click this edit icon, it will show you what you have, and you can come here and make any changes. You can also delete desktop profiles if you no longer want them on the system by clicking the delete icon. You can also clone them as well if you want to create an identical copy that you can start from and then make some changes. But we're going to build a new desktop profile from scratch. So I'm going to come up here and click Add Desktop Profile. So it will bring us to this page where we get to customize it. So for this desktop profile, I'm going to create one for a system test. So I'm just going to call it system test. And then you can optionally add a description. If it has a red icon on the side here, that means it's required. The description doesn't have that, so it's optional. But I'm going to say this profile is for system tests, just so I know why I created it. So next we get to pick our display mode. We could select a pop-up with any of these looks here. We could also select a ticker to move across our screen like this, or we can select the classic, which is the standard full screen takeover. I'm going to go with the classic, and I'm going to come next over here to the variables tab so that I can customize what this display looks like. So we can customize essentially every aspect of this. We're going to leave this blank where it says enter your custom message here so that that will automatically populate when we send the activation. But let's say for our blink color, since it's a system test, I don't want it to be red because that could be alarming. So maybe we'll pick green instead. Same thing for our border color. I'm going to come down here and change it to a green color. That looks good. We could also change the font, the height. If you would like, you have a lot of options here. You can also change all of these colors as well. You also have the option to add an image. You can either select what is already uploaded here if you wanted to add your organization's logo, or if you want to add an image that relates to your desktop profile, you can do that. So maybe I'll add this green check mark. But if you don't see what you want to include here, you also have the option to search the web for an image and enter the URL, or you can upload a new image here as well. So we have a lot of options with this. Maybe with our blinking text, our subtitle, I don't want it to say alert. Since it's a system test, let's just have it say test. And then I also want to show you down here, we have the option to hide this acknowledge button. So typically if you leave the acknowledge button up, the user can click acknowledge to show that they've seen the alert, but then it will close the alert from their computer. So if you don't show the button, they won't have a way to close the alert until it has been canceled. But I'm going to leave the acknowledge button there. I just want to make sure you know that that is an option. So I think this looks good. I'm going to come back to the general so that I can add some more settings. You can change the display settings here, but I really just recommend keeping it with the default client settings unless you have a special case scenario. But you can also add your audio settings here. So if you want to add an audio file, you could do that here. So you could select a certain beep or chime. And if you want to upload or record a custom audio file, you can do that here as well. But for today, I want to pick our text to speech. audio type here because I want the desktop to read our message out loud when we send an alert with this profile. So let's say we want it to repeat twice with a 2-second delay, and I'm going to click this override system volume option so that even if a certain desktop is muted, it will still read the alert out loud. So that looks good. I'm going to go ahead and click add to add this desktop profile. And I'm also going to click this check mark here to automatically create a new alert service for this desktop profile. So for this alert service, I'm again going to call it system test, maybe system test desktop since it's a desktop profile. And I'm going to hit submit so that we can save it. So now if we come down here to our desktop profiles, you will see this system test profile we just created. And if we go now into our alert services tab, we can also find our system test desktop alert service right here. So now that we have this alert service, we can select it when we send an activation. So I'm going to go quickly into custom activation and show you how we can do that. So here is where we get to specify our message text. I'm going to select my system test message template. You can change the duration or schedule the alert for later, but I'm going to leave it with the default settings for right now. And then when we come down here to specify our delivery methods, this is where we can pull in that alert service we just created. So we're going to find our Alertus desktop system test desktop service. So I'm going to click that. So now it will format this alert message with those settings that we just chose. And we can also specify our recipients. For this video today, I'm just going to select my own desktop so I can show you what it looks like when it pops up. If you want to preview what the alert will look like, you can do that. And you'll notice this is all of the formatting options that we chose with the green colors and the check mark. So that looks good. I'm going to hit continue. Again, you can verify that everything looks good. It's showing me that my computer is online and being targeted. So that looks good. I'm going to go ahead and hit send. And we should see it pop up shortly. Sometimes it takes a couple.
This is a test of the Alertus emergency notification system. No action is needed. In a real emergency, this message will contain important alert information.
You can go ahead and acknowledge to close that from my desktop. As a reminder, if I did choose to hide that acknowledge button, I wouldn't have a way to close it. So if you want the alert to remain on the desktop for the entire duration of the alert, you can hide that acknowledge button. You'll also notice because we selected that text-to-speech setting, you were able to hear the desktop read that message out loud for us. But I can see the alert is still active in my system. So I'm going to go ahead and click this active alerts window and cancel it just like that. So that is how you create a new desktop profile and use it for an activation. Hopefully this was helpful and thank you for watching.